Hello. The reason why you're not making the progress you want to make on your dissertation is because you think that you are too good to do the bare minimum. Something that I work with students on, and I've helped hundreds of students become doctor, is focusing on their habits and focusing on doing the bare minimum. Something I believe deeply in my bones, deeply, even if we have never met, even if I've never spoken to you before, something I deeply believe is that your 10% is everyone else's 90%. Let me say it again so I can sink in. Your 10% is everyone else's 90%. And if you showed up in the dissertation process believing that, how much different would your progress be? Like, how much further would you be if you actually believe that your 10% of effort was everyone else's 90%? Because right now, if you are struggling, if you are sitting there trying to get yourself to write, you had all these goals for the summer, you thought you were going to just plow through milestones, but it is coming to the end of June and you're still in the same place you were at in April, it is most likely because you're trying to do the most. You're trying to prove something to people that they already know to be true about you. That your 10% is everyone else's 90%. And the only thing that's in your way is you believing otherwise. The work that I do, it is about teaching you how to establish a routine doing the bare minimum. This is why we have shirts that say bare minimum baddie. It is our motto inside of Qual Scholars, because our 10% is everyone else's 90%. I'm gonna just keep saying that for the next 20 minutes or so, because my hope is that it'll sink in. If you need help though, if you need some dedicated writing time, you need to join us this weekend. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, from 12 to 4 Eastern, we are going to have our monthly writing routine, or writing retreat, excuse me. If you need some dedicated time, you need to sign up. It's $25. I want you to think about, it's $25 worth the investment of 10 pages done for you to be crushing your writing goals for the summer. This is not your regular writing retreat. Okay, if you've never joined the Qual Scholars event, you're in for an experience, because when you come in, we don't just get to work. Because if that was going to, like, listen, if you just needed to come to a Zoom room, like, you would have been put words on a page, but that's not working for you anymore. What we do is, like, you come in, the first hour or two, I'm going to help you not only organize what you're going to do for the writing retreat, but to get your mind right. Most of you think that all you need is a to-do list and some deadlines and you'll be on your way. Again, if that was true, you would be done. You would be a whole doctor. If all it took for you to finish your dissertation was a plan, you wouldn't need help. But you know that writing is more than plans and deadlines and putting words on a page. It is the conversation that you're having with yourself up here. And so the first day, it is about, let's change the record up here. Like, let's make this conversation something that's going to help you put words on a page. And then the second day, we follow that up of, like, you might be getting a little bit too comfortable. Let's help you not only get your mind right for the second day, but moving forward from this writing retreat. The people who came last time were shocked, gagged, that in less than 4 hours total, that they had 7 to 10 pages of writing done. I don't come on here and say things like this because I'm just talking out my ass. I'm not. I have receipts. I have receipts on receipts on receipts. I've been doing this for 8 years, y'all. I know that if you came to this retreat, if you came into one of my programs, you too would be finishing your dissertation in record time. And it's not because I got some magic to-do list that is going to get you motivated. No, it's because I help you to believe that you are worth the effort required to become doctor. Right now, you're thinking that you have to, I don't know, perform a certain way, speak a certain way. Maybe faculty in your program have told you that you're not a good writer, that you don't belong, because that's what they told me. And so that's what we work on. We confront those things, those stories that you're telling yourself, because that is what's stopping you from writing. It's not time management. It is not, like, I need to go watch a special video. It's honestly coming down to the fact that you're having a conversation with yourself and you're telling yourself things like, I'm never going to get done. I should get myself together. I don't know why it's taking me so long. I don't know why I can't just be like so-and-so. It's because you're entertaining conversations like that more than you're entertaining conversations like, I could do the bare minimum and still finish a dissertation. My 10% is better than, like, everybody else's 90%. When you start talking like that to yourself and you actually start believing it, watch out. This is how people like Dr. Tiffany Alexander finished her dissertation in 6 months. Finished the entire thing. I talked to her. She had a couple of pages of her literature review. the end of 6 months, you had an entire dissertation. And you might be having a goal like that right now, but my question to you is, what are you going to do differently than you've been doing for this past 6 months of 2024? Like, what's going to be the difference for the second half so that you can finish your dissertation? What are you going to tell yourself differently so that you can show up and be consistent and do the bare minimum in order to finish the dissertation? Like, what are you going to do and think differently? Stop doing the same things that you've always done thinking it's going to work. That's insanity. It's not working. Y'all, I did not come on here to do a whole rant, but it's in my spirit now. Let me know how you are, though. I do want to know how you're doing. Tell me how you're doing as I'm ranting. I guess this is in my spirit because y'all, like, half of the year is gone. And I don't know what you said to yourself in January, but do you realize, like, half of the year is done? We have the second half of 2024, and I just want to know, what are you going to do differently? How are you going to talk to yourself differently? How are you going to treat yourself differently? Because if you think that you're going to just push through and you're going to keep telling yourself you can't go outside or you can't do this, you don't deserve to rest, you're not going to finish your dissertation. That is not the answer. You cannot shame your way to a finished dissertation. I mean, you can, but it's going to come at a huge cost. You're not going to enjoy it. You're going to be like so many people walking around and it don't even matter that they're doctor. They don't even tell people they're doctor. So what are you going to do differently? You can join us this weekend. You can join us inside the Institute. But what are you going to do differently? For July to December, how are you going to ensure that you make the progress you want to make? And y'all are quiet today. We follow 3 rules inside of Qual Scholars. When I say do the bare minimum, 3 rules. The first rule is we take care of ourselves every day by following the scholar basics. The scholar basics is you drink 64 ounces of water. Listen, y'all see this cup? These will be going on sale in a minute. Reaping the Harvest, I can bring you on. Let's see. See if you accept. But yeah, so we drink our water. We go lay down somewhere. We lay down for at least 6 to 7 hours a night. We journal for 10 minutes because you got to empty your brain out. We move our bodies, and then we write shitty paragraphs. So that's rule number 1. I'm going to come back after this. So, hello.
Good morning. Right. How are you this morning?
You know, I'm good. It's Thursday. I'm trying to make it to the end of the week, but, you know, it's just one of those weeks where it's just nonstop, and I'm trying to be grateful, but also have enough energy to get through it. That's probably more than you asked, but how are you?
Well, thank you for asking, but this had to be divine intervention because I was sitting here writing progress notes and I was just finishing up with a client and it popped up on my screen. And let me just tell you, I wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit about, and I probably should have asked this. I don't know if I'm supposed to be asking this live. I probably could have sidebarred this, but I wanted to ask because I am actually thinking about coming to the workshop. But where I am in my dissertation, and I started probably following you probably 8 months ago.
Okay.
I have finished all of my coursework and I am in the process. I submitted chapter 3. They sent me back for edits and I didn't do anything from there. Will this workshop help me, you think?
Oh, absolutely. Are you comfortable talking a little bit more about it right now?
Sure. I mean, I don't have an issue with it.
Okay. So something I like to say is, and I don't know if you drink alcohol, but let's just pretend that I invited you to brunch, okay, because I live in Atlanta and brunch is a sport, right? So imagine I invited you to brunch and we were drinking mimosas.
It's a sport in Louisiana.
Yes. So we're a little bit tipsy, okay? This is the context for this conversation. So the reason why I'm saying we're tipsy is I don't want you to try to make this fancy because when you're tipsy, you just say whatever comes out your mouth, right? No filter. So when you saw those edits from chapter 3, what were the first reactions that you had when you opened that document?
I closed it back.
Yeah. But what did your brain say that was like, I need to close this?
It was almost, so let me begin by saying that I had been finished my coursework. I probably sent my chapter 3 in around September of 2022.
Okay.
And I didn't hear back from my chair until maybe it was November of 2022, but I didn't hear back from my chair until September of 23. So I think I got, when I'm not engaged, like I was in the coursework, I think I'm lacking motivation, and I need to feel connected again, I think.
Mm. I mean, why do this? Like, why put yourself through all of this? Why not just be like, you know what? I don't need to be anybody's doctor.
Because I start I finished what I started.
Sure. But could we make an argument that, I mean, you did finish it. You did all the classes.
Well, that's not full completion though.
Hmm. But why is it important to do full completion? Like, what would it mean about you, about your work ethic, if you didn't finish this degree?
There's a couple of things that probably resonates in my spirit. So for one of the things is I'm just a firm believer that I cannot um, pour from an empty cup. I can't pour from an empty cup, and I do have other things. I do have other things going on. Um, I don't think it would make me feel less than if I didn't complete. However, that is something, I'm a person that checks off the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, it would just be a milestone because I started it. I don't like unfinished business. That's all.
Um, and I'm not sure how, I know you say you've been following me for a minute, and I don't know how much you know about my coaching style. So just for everyone on this live as well as you, I'm asking questions. They're going to seem like sporadic. I promise y'all I will bring it together, but there is a reason why I ask these questions. I find that we don't give ourselves enough space. We don't give that part of us enough space and time that's like doubtful, that's like, I don't want to do this, that's like, I want to quit. We don't give those parts of ourselves enough airtime. They have a job to do. They're trying to communicate something, and if you don't listen, it'll just keep building and building and building. So when we fully explore what would life look like if I did say I want to do this, you will be shocked what you may find. You're going to find your motivations as to why you want to continue, but you might find some other information about, like, I really don't care about this. And that's truly, for a lot of people, that's truly why it's hard to show up and finish the dissertation. Because somewhere along the process of getting to the dissertation, you realize that you don't put higher education on the pedestal that you once put it on. And so what do you do with that when you've been working for decades to get to this level in higher ed and you no longer care in the same ways about it? There's a grieving process that has to happen, a mourning. And so we often think, oh, I just need motivation, or I just need organization to get myself going, when it's really parts of us that's grieving the goal that we once held so tightly to. Right. That we like, right? Because I think about me, like, all I wanted to do was be somebody's professor. All I wanted to do was be like, I'm Dr. So-and-so in the classroom. And when I got to the dissertation and realized, like, oh no, I don't want that. That was heartbreaking. And I'm not saying that's your story.
Right.
I'm out to say that's why I'm asking you these questions.
It's very relatable, actually, because that was one of the things that I started out doing, and then I realized that I do check off the boxes, but really, and I hate to say that, it really won't benefit me in any way.
Yeah.
I feel like it really won't benefit me. So, but I do want to finish, but it's not, I guess, I won't say it's a high priority. I'm going to be real, transparent with you.
Yeah. Why is it, where you are today and moving forward in the future, why is it important to continue to be someone who checks off the boxes?
But if it's a level of importance, I just think that it's just been who I've been all of this time. I don't think as it connects to anything. I just think that it probably goes back to a core value of, like, I finishing what I started. And I think, oh, someone just said maybe I feel, and maybe I am burnout. Maybe it was. And I think after this time, it was like, okay, let's get started. Let's get back started again. And I mean, when I closed the laptop, I didn't go
Yeah.
back to it.
What
I didn't go back.
what's coming next for you? Like what after your doctor, what comes next?
Strangely or oddly enough, I'm not really sure because my concentration is counselor education and supervision, and so I have a private practice now. I'm a full-time school counselor, so I probably more of a consultation
Mm.
aspect. So something, and I'm probably looking more of my retirement in 10 or 50 as my retirement, you know,
Yeah.
retirement. That's all.
Yeah. So it's hard, right? Because your nervous system realizes, like, what do we need this degree for? Like, making money, have my own business, have your own practice, have an idea what comes next for the like second or third career. No, you want to like retire in 10 to 15 years. The nervous system's having a hard time being like, so why do you want to torture me and write this dissertation? Like, what's the goal? Beyond checking a box because your nervous system does not care. And for everyone else, this is where I want y'all to start really like, let's be honest. This is why we drinking mimosas at brunch. We not, I don't need your reasons like you give to your admission counselor or to your chair. What are the reasons that you say secretly to yourself? Okay, because for me, I was like, these niggas gonna have to call me doctor and they're gonna have to choke on their words. And I would say that to myself every day. That's not nice, polite things you say in the school, but that's what I would say to myself. That was enough to get me to the other side when I no longer, I was like, I'm gonna have a business. I don't need to be nobody's professor. So when I ask you, right, like, what is that reason for you? What does that sound like to you as someone who already has their practice, who's already like,
And
out here?
yeah, and I've worked as an adjunct professor already. So I'm not really sure. I think I'd have to really I probably need to do a deep dive into. Like I said, other than the motivation of me wanting to finish something that I started, I really have no real connection to
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And that's the thing. So tell me about your topic.
The lived experiences of individuals affected by infidelity as a result of social media.
Ooh. Hmm. Why should we care?
Mm. One of the reasons I chose that and why I think people should care is because social media has taken everything. Everything. And so, I mean, there are so many people, and I noticed that for me, even in my personal practice and, other clinicians that I had spoken to, that there are so many instances, male, female alike, where this actually occurred and they found out through social media, through uh, inboxes, text, different platforms on, how this, the affairs were actually carried out. And so, and then that, it kind of became a passion for me, so to speak, that
Yeah.
forward.
So if you had 10 clients in your office and they were like, yeah, we all found out that our partners cheated on us in some way through social media, what should they do next?
I'm not sure if I know how to answer that other than the fact that one of the things is that I found, in research, and if you decided to work your way back from it, is building trust. They would have to, discuss with their partner if they both are willing to stay in the relationship. What are we going to do? Are we going to build boundaries as it relates to social media and its usage?
How do I find that like in anything but especially like infidelity, it's more about the person feeling like they can't trust themselves anymore, right? Because it's like I made a decision to be with this person and I chose wrong because this person then went out and did whatever. How do I learn to trust myself again? And I want you to don't tell me what the literature says. Tell me what you think in your professional, personal opinion, because you're the expert.
So, how do I learn to trust myself again? Well, that's based on you. I think it depends a lot on your values, the things that that you do for you, self love. First off, that depends on where you are in your own journey,
Mm.
because the healing process, it's tough. It's tough, but you have to understand that I, even with, as a therapist, I tell people all the time that regardless of if, you're the person that was cheated on, you still had a responsibility in that relationship. It still belongs to you.
So I would have to take responsibility. I need to identify my values. I need to develop a practice of self love. And I need to figure out what are my boundaries around social media moving forward, is what you said.
Sorry, I missed someone was trying to call because obviously I don't even know how I ended up here today. Something said click that button and ask. And I never do this. I never do this. So
Yeah,
this is my first time this ever, and here I am on
I'm so
a
glad. So, okay, let me repeat it for you. So, how what I heard you say, like if I'm someone who's trying to navigate, like I found out my partner participated in infidelity and I found out through social media, you're saying what I would need to do is number one, take responsibility for just the relationship itself, my relationship with me, relationship with the other person, figuring out what I want to do. I need to learn to build trust with myself and with that person again if I want to continue to be with them. A part of building trust is identifying my values, having a practice of self-love, and figuring out what are my boundaries around social media.
right.
Right? That is what you're going to find when you do this research. Right? I'm showing you that you already know it, right? I'm just showing you that you already know this, right? So you go through the steps. We'll come. Maybe you'll find a little like one or two things to add some razzle dazzle to this from the interviews. But moving forward, because you are someone who already has that practice, and you mentioned earlier, oh, I might do some. I think you said consulting. What if people would just pay you to teach them how to do these 5 things? Like not as like a private client or not doing like a school presentation, but what if like a random 10 people from the internet was like, yeah, I want can you teach me how to do this in like an hour or two?
Hmm. I never really thought about. I mean, I never considered it.
Yeah. I mean, think about all the people who have both clients who come to you for your advice and your expertise, and it's like, I have this problem going on, I have this, and like you say, you chose this topic, which is a very amazing topic for a dissertation, because I'm like, oh, I want to know what the people say, but you gave this to me off the top of your head. Do you feel like you can help people build trust with themselves, have boundaries in social media, figure out their values, figure out self-love, take responsibility?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I'm glad I actually. Um, well, not that it wasn't it was God that getting on this live. So and I'm telling you, this is, even though a friend sent this to me and I started following you and I log in, sometimes this is the first time I've actually logged into one of your
Mhm.
lives. Um, I guess I need to figure out how to get on because I would like to participate this weekend. So, and we would be in a Zoom room. That's how it works.
Yeah, so let me tell you why I said this about the pay, and I'm gonna answer your question.
Okay.
But I want to close this loop for everyone. The reason why I said, what if people would pay you?
Mm-hmm.
Is because this is how we start to think about our work and and transition it for the next step. Me just asking you simply, just tell me the 5 things you think you would find. You already know the answers because you've been doing this work, you've been in the research, you see this from multiple angles. And there are people right now who are struggling with infidelity and they want to hold on to their relationships, but they don't know where to go because most of what they hear on the internet is, well, break up with them, they're trash, go find somebody else. But if I want to save my relationship, I want to come to the doctor to tell me what to do. The doctor, it's that title. It is the fact that you have a whole dissertation about this, you have research, and you have X amount of years of experience of helping people. I will pay you. I'm gonna pay you whatever you say, 100, 200, 300, whatever, for you to teach me how to do this because you look like how I look and you are an expert. When we start thinking about things like this, the reason why I'm bringing this up is when we start thinking about things of like, this is what my work is going to do, this is how my work is going to impact the world, you know what happens? You instantly get motivation to finish the dissertation. You instantly understand that, oh, the dissertation isn't the thing that I need to like make perfect and whole. The dissertation is just a means to the end of helping people because most of y'all on here, you want to help people. You could help people right now because you just said that. And so then to take the pressure off the dissertation, because it doesn't have to, we're not trying to impress your committee. We're just trying to get the work out there so that you can help the people you want to help most. If most of y'all thought about it in that way, you would finish faster. So for the writing retreat, let me answer that question for you is, yes, we're going to meet on Zoom Saturday and Sunday from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. The first 2 hours is me helping you, like asking you questions like this of like, hey, where are you? Let's create a plan that you're going to start executing this weekend as well as for the rest of July. And then you'll have writing time. The second half of each day is actual writing time. But we do the organizing and like getting your thoughts together first so that you know exactly what to do. And I just find that most people think they know how to plan or they think they know how to get clear on what it is that they need to do. But I promise you probably don't until we start talking. Okay.
All right. That answer. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you
You're welcome.
for
Thank you for
uh,
being up here.
yeah, and I don't know where it came from because I was like, where did that even come from? Because like I said, I don't do this. I'm a scroller, like I subscribe to, other clinicians, things like that. But for the most part, this has been good. So I am going to, write a retreat for the weekend. And, I just pray that I could find some definition. I can define some things here and outline some things. And because when I think what was the catalyst is when you said, here you are, you began the summer saying that you were going to meet these milestones, and here I am, and that is so where I am. I was going to get this taken care of, and in all honesty, I've been paying tuition for the last 4 semesters because you have to just enroll in that dissertation, and I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
So,
So,
but I wanted to.
Yeah, Kristen is telling you. Yeah, I say come. And we're gonna have some deep conversations because you're gonna recognize that you're not the only one feeling this way. And through the community and through conversations like we were just having, you will see the like to the other side of this proposal. Because that's the first step. We need to get the proposal done. And then you can start collecting data and you're not gonna have any problems getting folks. And because you've already mapped out for me this dissertation, I know that it's not about writing. I know it's not about clarity. I think you think it's about clarity, but you answered all of my questions quickly. So you're clear. There's something else that's happening. There's another conversation you're having either around your writing or about what you think you're capable of that is stopping you from looking at the edits and responding to the edits and finishing your proposal.
Okay. And I apologize. I didn't even introduce myself, and I was remiss in doing that. And we just started talking, and here it was. We were on this live. I'm from Louisiana. My name is Tanya, and I'm from Louisiana. And I definitely want to. It really piqued my interest. So, like I said, this writing retreat, I think it'll be helpful for me. Because I need a jump start.
Yes. Yes. Well, I look forward to seeing you there then. Thank you so much, Tanya, for being brave.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Right. Okay, y'all. Y'all know me in this Instagram that I don't know how to use. I like somebody's.
Me too.
No, it just gave me the option and now it doesn't want to give me the option. Hold on. Okay, there we go.
You got it.
All right, y'all. Okay, so before, let me recap talking to Tanya and why I asked the questions. Number one, if you are finding yourself, you're writing and maybe you turned in a manuscript and you're like, I can't look at the edits or I can't move forward, it's usually because you're having some version of the conversation that says, this wasn't good enough. See, that's proof that I don't know what I'm doing. I'm never going to finish. This is too hard. At the base of that, where that comes from is think about how we're socialized in school. When from undergrad until now, when you did your classes, you showed up to the first day, somebody handed you a syllabus, and your syllabus outlined all the things you need to read, all the assignments you have to do, and any other requirements for that class. You would go about your 16 weeks. Whenever there was a reading or an assignment due, you would do that assignment, turn it in, and get a grade. And then you move on to the next assignment, and so on and so forth. However, now you're at the dissertation, and the dissertation is no more about here's your assignment, turn it in, get a grade, move on. Now you're actually writing an entire document. You're not writing an assignment. When you're writing an entire document, what that means is you're going to write it, look at it, rewrite it, look at it, rewrite it, look at it, and you don't have much practice with holding on to one document and working on it over and over and over. And so when you go to turn in your first literature review or your methods chapter, like Tanya, and your chair gives you feedback, but that feedback doesn't come with an A or a grade, or that feedback is like, oh, keep going, keep reading. Your nervous system thinks that something has gone wrong. Like thinks like, oh, I must not know what I'm doing. They must have tricked me. Like I must not be prepared enough to make it this far along, when the only thing that's really happening is you're no longer in the class, you're in the dissertation phase of things, and people did not explicitly explain that to you. You're not doing anything wrong because people are like giving you track changes and comments on the side. They're trying to help you make a more cohesive sound argument and document. But because we're used to working on something really fast, turning it in, getting a grade, and moving on, because that's not happening now, you just think something is wrong, but that's not what's happening. They're trying to help you and prepare you to have a career of academic writing. Classes was about you learning certain concepts and strategies. The dissertation is about learning how to be an academic. Those are two different goals. So nothing is wrong with you. It's just a different part of the assignment. The dissertation, when you hear coaches like me say the dissertation is just an assignment, what we're essentially saying to you is you've already done the coursework. You've already received the knowledge and experience of being the expert. So you are a field expert. The dissertation is about, okay, as an expert, what knowledge are you going to put out? But you need to learn how to produce knowledge. The dissertation is an educational exercise to teach you how to produce knowledge. And with that, for a lot of you, it's going to be the first time that you've ever had an academic challenge in your life. If you're anything like me, school was not hard. Like the actual content wasn't hard. You're like, I'm gonna memorize a couple of things, do a little whatever. They want a little paper, let's do that. The dissertation for many of you is the first time where you're like, I don't even know what to do and I don't even know how to figure out how to do it. The dissertation is probably the first time that you've tried your old tricks, your old like tried and faithfuls, where you're like, oh, I just show up and I write like this and I read like this, and then people love my writing. And then you turn in your first draft and it's like, you don't love my writing. Like, what is all these track changes, girl? Like, why you got all these comments? And y'all, it really is because they're just trying to help you be like you're in the pros. Like, this is a new level of writing. Yeah, you were that writing in class that you were doing was cute, but we're in a different level. It's not an indication of your worth, like what you're worthy of, what you're deserving of. It is, we're just trying to help you learn how to write like an academic. But I get that that is hard when you're so used to getting the positive reinforcement every time you write something. And it feels like your chair became a whole different person now because they're telling you, like, this isn't clear. Why did you do this? I don't get what you mean by this. And that's a lot. And so the reason why I talk a lot about emotions is because this right here, you're going to tell me, similar to Tanya, that like, oh, I just need to get clear. Like, I just need to know what I'm writing. You need to recognize and like acknowledge and process your emotions. And even if this is the work that we do on a daily basis, because I have a group full of teachers, counselors, therapists, coaches, who I'm like, yeah, you're good at helping your clients do that or your students do that, but now you need a space to do that for yourself. And you might be thinking like, it's just a dissertation. I don't have any emotions. I have my emotions when I'm done. And here, let me hold your hand. Okay. You won't finish unless you process your emotions, unless you process the shame and the guilt that you have around who you are as a student. Because things seem so much more challenging, because it's the first time you've ever had a challenge academically, now you're questioning everything you once believed about yourself to be true. You used to see yourself as someone very smart, right? Your family is probably like, oh, you're so smart. And they love to tell everybody how smart you are. You like, because you're so used to going through this process with ease, you just think something has gone wrong when all that's happening is you just have a challenge. Welcome to your first challenge. And so you have to learn the skills of how you navigate a challenge like this. But let me tell you, you can be a doctor, you can finish the dissertation, you could put words on a page, even if you never feel motivated, even if you don't feel like you deserve it, even if you feel like you don't earn it. There are plenty of people walking around here being called doctor, and I'm like, that's what your dissertation says? Oh, okay. This is proof that we don't have to like be a certain way in order to become doctor. We just got to put the words on a page and be willing to let people give us feedback, respond to that feedback, and keep going until you get to the other side. That's really what this comes down to. But what makes that so hard is the conversation you're having in your mind about, am I someone who can do that? Why should I have to do all of that? Why didn't they give me the support? Why didn't they do all of this? And you can spend your time there. You can keep arguing with people. You can keep trying to prove to them that you're right, that they didn't do what they said. Or you can do what needs to be done. You can do the bare minimum, finish your dissertation, and it's going to be amazing. Why? Because at the top of this, I said your 10% is everybody else's 90%. So although I'm telling you to do the bare minimum, I'm telling you that because I know how potent your 10% is. And if you could believe it a little bit, if you could just humor me a little bit, you would be shocked. And y'all, I didn't know Chris was on the call, and this is the perfect way to like come down to the end as I look at questions. Y'all remember at the beginning of June, I said Chris on a live. I thought about this on live. I said Chris is going to write his proposal in 30 days. By the end of June, Chris is gonna have a proposal. Chris told me it's done. Yesterday, it's done. It's done. Now that him and the committee gonna go back and forth. Listen, I'm singing your praises. They're gonna go back and forth a little bit. They're gonna do some edits, but there's a draft. Y'all, all it takes is audacity. Like a little piece of audacity. To say, what if I could write my proposal in 30 days? What would that look like? What would I have to do? What type of support would I need? Now, if y'all were on that live when I told Chris was writing this proposal in 30 days, first of all, ignored me for the first like 30 minutes of the live, ignored me. And I was like, but you know, I'm going to see you. And then after falling down at the desk, I was like, okay, what's the plan? How are we going to do this? And when I tell you, Chris showed up every call, whenever there was a question, I got a question, no matter how small, no matter how big. Showed up to the committee like, hey, y'all, what y'all doing? This is what I'm doing. And together, there's a whole proposal. And I just want you to think about that. Like, what if you believe that you could? Because that's the only difference. Chris will tell you probably is doing less than what you were doing, even a month ago. It's not about the time you're putting in. It's not about who can do all the things. It really comes down to, what are you telling yourself? Are you telling yourself things like, I could do that. I could finish a proposal in 30 days. I mean, even if I don't finish it, I'm going to get further. But what if I did finish it in 30 days? What if I did graduate before the 2024 was over? What if I did move my graduation date from 2026 to 2025? When you start having conversations like this, y'all, doors open. Doors open. Chris is going to defend this proposal. We've already, and you know why, and the reason why, if you were on here when I was talking to Tanya, and I was like, we need to know what comes after the dissertation. Part of how we got here with Chris is I said, okay, you're going to take sabbatical in the spring. It's already planned. Sabbatical is planned. Like, what would it look like to take the sabbatical and be on the beach? what would it look like to like have data collection wrapped up and you just on the beach writing your dissertation for your entire sabbatical, smoking cigars, drinking a good whiskey, because you know we love some whiskey over here. And Chris was like, yeah, I could do that. Tell me who booked for the beach, who ready. That is how the proposal got done in 30 days, y'all. You need to know what comes next. You need a reason for your nervous system that your nervous system actually believes to get you to the other side. When you keep saying things like, well, I've come too far to finish, or I have to, I started it already, your nervous system does not care. Your nervous system needs something that it can get behind. And it can be a petty reason, it could be a prideful reason. I'm not judging your reason. I just need you to have a real reason. Most of you don't have real reasons. You have reasons that sound good, that look good on paper, but you don't believe them. And if you don't believe them, why should your nervous system believe it? So okay, how can you write your proposal in 30 days? You should definitely come to the writing retreat. We're doing 10 pages in 2 days writing retreat, Saturday and Sunday. And for those of you who are thinking about joining the Institute, cough, cough, wink, wink, friend, you want to come to this writing retreat because there's going to be a discount. Oh, the price is going up, y'all. Okay, the price is going up. And the only way you can get into this community now is you have to go through our small group program. And I'm going to be explaining all about that during the writing retreat. But even if you don't want to join that and you just need some motivation, you need community, you need a space to write, $25 for 2-day writing retreat. You have never had a writing retreat like this. I'm so confident. I stand 10 toes down on that. There's no other dissertation coach like me. Okay? None. Because most of them are just trying to regurgitate what your chair told you. And that's why most of you are confused about why you would need a coach. The reason why you would need a coach, especially me, I can't speak for the rest of them, I can speak for me. You have never had someone validate you, see you, and hold you accountable in the way that I'm going to do that. You've never. I can guarantee you never. You know, like y'all don't let the Chicago come out, okay? You have never been coached by someone like you will be by me. And this is not about like I have some magical like fairy dust is like some answers. It's like I'm going to help you get real about why are you doing this? What are you going to do with this? And if you were listening to me when I was talking to Tanya, I built her whole business. I don't know if she caught it. I don't know if you caught it. But I told her exactly why she needs to finish the dissertation and how she can make money with the dissertation. Because that's what it is with me. I did that in 5 minutes. What do you think I could do with you in 12 months? Y'all see these people. You see people every left and right. And I'm thinking about Dr. Rashonda Breeden. When she came to me, I said, we got 12 months, girl. What are we doing in these 12 months? In 12 months, she applied to a fellowship that was a couple of $100,000. She rewrote her entire proposal because I was like, yeah, girl, that's cute. But like, you know, it's not you. You should rewrite it. She rewrote it. She defended it. She did a participatory action research project. That means she had to write a proposal and she had to do IRB, but she had to also train another set of like undergrad students to be her co-researchers. And then they did the dissertation project that turned into a play, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So we did that in a couple of months. She started working, and then the rest of the things that we did was like, what's your boundaries looking like? What's your self-care looking like? What's your relationship with your husband looking like? My friend, every weekend, I'm like, hello, what you doing? She's like, oh, we did a weekend getaway. Oh, I'm stuck in the bed. I'm rewatching Grey's Anatomy. Like, she was just over here living her best life. You would have never known that she was working on her dissertation. She finished everything in 6 months. By the time we were going into the new year, all the data was collected. It was already transcribed. It was halfway analyzed. She was working on her final chapters. And she defended, I want to say it was either the end of January or early February. Then started turning into a play. She's still traveling. She's still going to every conference. She graduates and she doesn't get not one, not two, but 3 Dissertation of the Year awards. I am just telling you, I didn't do the work. I'm not taking credit for her brilliance or her magic. I am telling you, like, that's the difference when you are properly supported. And she will tell you she loves her chair. I love her chair. Like, love him down. It is not about because you don't have a supportive chair. It is about learning what is it like to move through life fully supported. Most of us come from backgrounds, from childhoods where we don't know what it's like to be supported. So we think that if we have a chair who's halfway nice to us, that that's all the support we deserve. No, beloved, you deserve full support. Dr. Breeden had a amazing chair, an amazing committee, amazing partner, amazing friends and family, and she had me as a coach. With all of that support, that's why she was able to finish her dissertation in less than 12 months, get a fellowship, get 3 Dissertation of the Year awards, turn it into a play, and do all this without slowing down or traveling her life or just living. Most of y'all think you have to struggle and suffer to be a doctor. You don't. That's just lies that people told you. You get to do this your way, but it starts with you believing that, number one, you deserve it, and two, that it's available to you. I can help you figure out how to do it, but I can't force you to believe that it's possible for you. So the writing retreat is this Saturday and this Sunday from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. The link is in the bio to sign up. Dr. Lacey is the go. Oh, thank you, Chris. Because listen, proposal in 30 days, greatest of all time. And just for Chris, I'm gonna get some black Air Force Ones, okay, Chris? Because I feel like I need the full uniform. Yes, y'all. And Kristen has already signed up for the small groups in August. There's already 2 spots gone of the 10 spots. So that's what I'm saying. If you think you wanted to work with me long term, you don't need to come here, because the people who come to the writing retreat will get first access to being able to sign up for the next cohort. If the spots are gone and I can't come in over here on Instagram, you're going to be sad. So you should definitely join. Okay, I'm just trying to see if there's any questions. Okay, how did Chris do this? I'm still struggling since May. Okay, let me oh, and I forgot to say, I know my ADHD is doing things right now. Okay, I'm about to reintroduce myself. I meant to tell you congratulations earlier. That is amazing. I want to say congratulations, doctor. I hope that you have found some way to celebrate this moment, to record this moment, because right now it's not going to feel real. And like your nervous system needs a moment to for it to sink. And so capture this. As like I recorded so much during the time of graduation because I wasn't all the way there. It wasn't until another year and a half when I was like, oh, I graduated. I'm a doctor. So please please record this, and thank you. How can we support you in your program? Please, there's 2 links in the bio. If you click the link in the bio, there's going to be 2 that pops open. The second one on the bottom is the link. Thank you so much for putting it in the chat. Okay, what was I saying? How did Chris do this? And I got 8 minutes, y'all, because I gotta coach somebody. Okay, so how did Chris do this? First, I was explaining this before going live with Tanya. We follow 3 rules inside of the program. The first rule is you follow the Scholar Basics every day. Scholar Basics are 5 things that we do in terms of self-care so that we have the energy to show up and put words on the page. You drink your water. You drink 64 ounces of water every day. These will be on sale soon. But you drink 64 ounces of water a day. You go lay down somewhere. Because most of y'all ain't drinking your water or sleeping. Most of you, if you just drink some water and went to sleep, you have energy and motivation to write. But I'm gonna keep moving on. Move your body for at least 10 minutes. Go walk outside, walk around your house, find a fur baby, go walk them. Empty out your brain. So journal for at least 10 minutes. Most of you just have too many thoughts swirling, and if you just journaled out, like just emptied out your brain, you would have more space up here to think about what it is that you want to write. And the final thing is writing a shitty paragraph. If you wrote a shitty paragraph every day, you would be further along. So doing those 5 things every day, we're not trying to do them perfectly, but that's a practice, a self-care practice. When I tell you to do the bare minimum, I'm first telling you to do those Scholar Basics. I could tell if you've done them or not when I talk to you. I swear I can. So that's rule number 1. Rule number 2, put soda away. Rule number 2 is you evaluate and create a weekly plan every Sunday. On Sundays, we plan. We start with evaluation. I ask people every Sunday, what are we celebrating from the past 7 days? Most of you don't celebrate your wins because you are thinking the only win that counts is if I finish my dissertation. Well, if it's going to take you 12 months to finish a dissertation, that means you're never going to celebrate until the end, and you won't have any reason to keep going because your nervous system, again, is like, why are we doing this painful thing if we don't get any benefit from it? So when you learn to celebrate the small wins, it gives you so much courage and so much energy to keep moving forward. But I ask you what your wins are. I ask you what strategies are working for you. I ask you what obstacles came up, because things are going to come up. Life is going to life. It's not about freaking out when life starts life, and it's about what are you going to do about it? What did you do about it? So when it comes up in the future, you can already keep going. Once we have that information, then you create a plan for the next 7 days. The goal with this plan is to get to like 10 to 15 small tasks that you can do over a 10-hour period. Most students in the program do not work 10 hours a week. I know y'all hear me say, like, all you need is 10 hours a week for your dissertation. The average in the program is that people are working like 4 to 5 hours a week on their dissertation. Yes, I didn't stutter, I didn't miss my words. 4 to 5 hours to a 12-month dissertation. Why? Because they know exactly what to do. And so they're not wasting time when they go to their writing session trying to be like, what's the music? Let me get myself together. No, Chris just showed up and was like, okay, this today I'm supposed to produce this. Tomorrow I'm supposed to do this. Most of y'all are just too vague with your plans. That is why it's hard. The third rule that and how Chris did this was you must meet with your chair at least once a month and submit something for them to review. But because I gave Chris the assignment of finishing the proposal in 30 days, it was more like every week I'm going to meet with my chair and show up with something. You don't have to show up with the best thing. You just need to show up with something. Most of you are just ignoring and hiding from your chairs too much. If you can meet with them at a minimum once a month, it will keep it top of mind for you, and it will put the necessary boundaries in place because you know, okay, I have to show up with something, so let me put some words on a page. I can't keep reading. I can't keep going back and forth. I got to turn in something. Once you're in a group for a while, you will start to meet with your chair every week because something will click in you and you'll realize like, oh no, I can manage up. Like I'm gonna finish this thing. So they're gonna either get sick of me or they're gonna be so excited, but either way, I'm gonna get what I need. Because the motto that we have in the group is like, I'm passing or I'm passing. That's my plan B. So I'm going to do what's necessary. I'm going to have whatever conversations I need to have, and I'm going to do whatever I need to do because I'm passing. When you follow those 3 rules and you get into a routine with that, it starts to sink in like, oh, I'm passing. This is just a matter of time. I just need to show up and follow my plan and meet with my chair and keep going. This sounds really simple. And I'm sure you're going to be like, I need more than that. You don't, because it's not working for you, because you're not where you want to be right now. What you think you need is not working. Try a new way. Be open to a more simple approach. So join us this weekend because I'm going to break that down. I went really quickly, but this weekend, I'm not only am I going to show you how to do each of those steps, I'm going to give you a nice document, a nice checklist. I love a checklist. And that checklist says things like drink your water. When it comes to writing, the checklist says open up a document. Put this at the top of your page. Set your timer for 25 minutes. Put fingers on a keyboard. Start typing. I am someone, because I'm so literal, I write instructions in a literal way. I do not make assumptions that you know what I'm talking about. And even if you do get confused or if you have questions, I'm going to be right there for both days to answer your questions. And no question is too dumb for me. I don't think questions are dumb. I don't believe in that. Because in my brain, it's like, how would you know? If no one have ever explained it to you, how would you know? Okay, y'all gonna get me in trouble because I'm supposed to meet with Wes, and I don't even know if Wes is on this live to do his session. Okay, do you host sessions during the day? I'm a single mom and don't have help with my toddler. I want to join badly. Listen, we love a toddler on the call. Okay, there are multiple toddlers on this call. There's toddlers in the camera. They talk to us. They wave. I'm saying that to say, I get that some of our calls are so our Sunday and Thursday night calls are 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And I know that they can get in the middle of bath time and just putting the kids down to bed. Depending on your schedule, you'll see people, they'll have their cameras on, but they'll be doing things in the background like cooking or cleaning. Or sometimes they don't have their camera on and they're just listening to the call while they do the bedtime or the food time. Sometimes you can't make it and that's fine, but most of this is about show up as you are. Y'all, I'm not over here being like extra button up. And no, if you got your bonnet on, show up. Like Chris shows up with a cigar and a glass of whiskey. Okay, when Chris is being fancy, there's a whole meal on the call, right? And now I gotta ask questions about recipes because I'm like, you over here and it look good and I need to know. Right? I don't care how you show up, I just care that you show up. So if that means you're in your bed in your snuggie with your bonnet on, with candles on in the background, sounds good. Come join us. But we do have daytime calls on Wednesday from noon to 2 p.m. We have a co-writing call, and on Fridays, 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern, we have office hours. So we will be adding additional calls because we're trying to meet everybody's schedule, but that new call schedule will happen in September. So I'll be sure to tell y'all about this. And this weekend, yes. Yeah, and Natasha's toddler, listen, just talks to us. We were talking about Dr. Stuffins the other day. It was great. Okay. Okay. I am showing up with something helps. I'm just reading this. Yes, you can come if you're going to be late. Again, I want you to show up because I know that no matter how long you're there, if you're not able to stay for the whole time or whatever, because I know somebody told me it was Pride weekend. Listen, whenever you can show up, I know you're going to get exactly what you need. Like, I know that in my bones. You're going to get exactly what you need. And you see the people on here, I'm not forcing them to say all these nice things. I'm not. They're genuinely sharing with you their experience. And I wish that Instagram would let me keep the chat because I want to answer some of y'all questions. Okay, I have to go, y'all, because I am late. But if you have more questions, please DM me and I'll be happy to answer them. This was great, y'all, because I wasn't sure where this conversation was going. So thank y'all. Okay, bye, y'all.